Hello, children. This is Tito coming at you live from Torres News Radio. That's TNR. And today we're going to unravel the mysteries of the Indus River Valley. So buckle up your seatbelts because it's going to be a long ride. Now, by the time we're done with this, you'll be able to note some similarities between Egypt and Mesopotamia and Indus River Valley, and you'll also be able to identify what were the most important characteristics of this new river valley. So let's get this started. Now, for those of you guys who have not been paying close attention to the past videos, you guys need to understand that these river valleys are developed near rivers. That's Mesopotamia, that is Egypt, and today, children, we're going to be talking about the Indus River Valley that develops in India. The following video will be based out in China. Now I know we're not used to a whole lot of crazy weather. The summer here is basically summer all year long. When it rains for 3 hours, Mercedes and Westsacco and just the rest of the valley decide to get all flooded. Right? Now, the Indus River Valley is going to develop alongside, if you can guess it, the Indus River Valley. And unlike our region historians, India has seasonal monsoons. That means that every year, the people of India have this huge, crazy flood. Massive, massive flood. That obviously helps create more fertile soil afterwards, right? The rain brings in all this good soil for crops to grow, but it also leaves an incredible amount of damage done to their cities. Just to give you guys an idea of what a monsoon looks like, let me add some photos here. This is a rain cloud. Move it away from it, you guys said. This right here is a rain cloud. And this is what they experience for days and for nights on end. Non-stop rain. To make it worse, heavy rain like that is always accompanied by this crazy lightning right here. This is what the people of India have to endure every summer. They have crazy monsoons that flood their entire region. One thing that you guys have to understand about the people of India is that these guys, they're lovers. They're not fighters. They're not bred to fight. They weren't designed to fight. They were lovers. They were nice, peaceful people. That was because they had several natural barriers. To the south, they had a huge desert that was incredibly hard to get through. To their north and northeast, they have the entire Himalayan mountains, which were incredibly hard to navigate. And then finally, they also had an entire sea keeping people out. The people of the Indus River Valley were very, very peaceful people. They were definitely lovers and not fighters. These three natural barriers kept strangers and looters and invaders out. Now, know it's hard to believe, but cities, the idea of cities, the idea of streets and fortified areas and a grid system, heck, even schools and baths were all developed by the cities of India, by the cities found in the Indus River Valley. This here, this was a public bath. We went to shower. Believe it or not, we still use this same system today. Manhattan in New York is just one example of many. Another thing, right, we're going to go through the 5 characteristics, by the way: advanced cities, specialized workers, complex institutions, record keeping, and advanced technology. So, another thing, another lasting contribution of theirs, again, is their caste system. And we're going to talk about this more in detail in class, but their caste system is incredibly important. The same caste system they developed all these thousands of years ago still exists today. And their caste system is not based on money or wealth or power, but it's based on purity. And purity is defined by their religion, Hinduism, which we'll get to eventually. So up here we got the Brahmin class, the Kshatriya class, the Vaishya class, the Sudra class, and then finally the untouchable. Now, there are all sorts of arrows, but these, to my far left, these are your Brahmins. These are your priests and your academics. These to my far right, well, these are your Kshatriyas. These are your warriors or your kings. That's right, guys. Kings are not the most powerful in India. The ones on my bottom far left are your Vaishya. Right? These are your business community, people who specialize in trade, people who own businesses. Rear right, you have your Shudras, your servants, your subordinates, everyone who is below any one of these three. But we don't have the untouchables. We don't have a picture of the untouchables. These are the worst of the worst. These are at the bottom of the barrel. And I'll explain that here in a minute. And here, children, this where it gets very, very mysterious. Now, we don't know anything about these guys. Little to nothing is known about how they were ruled, other than that they were ruled by kings. We don't know what kind of laws they had. We don't know what kind of rules they passed. They are very, very mysterious people to us, even to today. Now, many of you know what this is right here. Many of you have heard of Hinduism, right? Hinduism is a very, very popular religion, even to today. And as you guys can see from my far left, we can obviously tell that it's a polytheistic form of religion. They believe in many multiple gods. And as you might have guessed it by now, the Hindus believe in reincarnation. The idea that you would keep coming back to life until you're reborn, until you reach this state called moksha, which I'll explain in a minute. Now, moksha, guys, is also known as nirvana or the enlightenment. It is the idea that every human is born with this spirit that belongs to the gods. And until we reach that state of enlightenment, until that spirit returns to the major gods, we will continue to have this cycle of birth and rebirth and death and so on and so forth. That is why Hindus go or experience or believe in reincarnation. They believe that until their spirit is released, they will continue to live a new life over and over again. And all that is based on karma. If you are a good person, then you are more likely to have reached that state of enlightenment at the end of the day. If you are a bad person, then you will continue to be reborn until you reach that enlightenment period. If you are a good person, but you aren't the best person, you might be able to jump up a class. If you were a good Sudra and you die, you might be able to come back in the next life as a Vaishya. If you were a good Vaishya and you died, you might be able to come back as a Kshatriya. If you were a good Kshatriya, you might be able to come back as a Brahmin. And if you were a great Brahmin, you might just reach enlightenment. And that's how that works. That's what happens when you have good karma. Now, the same can be said if you have bad karma. If you were a terrible Brahmin, you will get demoted. If you were a terrible Kshatriya, you will be demoted all the way until you become an untouchable. Now, children, the reason why we don't understand much of their government or much about how they were ruled is because we have been unable to completely translate and decipher their writing. We can translate Sumerian language, we can translate hieroglyphics, but we cannot translate the writings of the people of India. It is a complete mystery to us. We have an idea what some symbols mean, right? This obviously looks like a fish, so we believe that's a fish. We think this little teepee over a fish is a roof, and little symbols like that, but that does not give us the information that we as historians need to be able to decipher their language, to be able to really take a look at what. Now, you guys take this for granted, my children, but toilets, plumbing, and bathrooms, people didn't have that. People walked around smelling like armpit and all sorts of grossness. The people of India were the ones to develop an advanced plumbing system. They were the ones to develop underground sewer systems for their bathrooms, for their showers. Right? They had a public bath. If you could afford it, you had a private bathroom. But most people had private toilets. Right? You would go into your private room. Your shower, all that water is drained out and is let out through these systems. That, children, is very advanced technology that we take for granted these days. So next time you go to the bathroom, thank the people of India for developing such an incredible concept. Apart from the bathrooms and apart from the bath and the grid cities, the last thing that they do for us, that the people of India do for us, is that they create the standard size brick. The same dimensions that they use are the same dimensions that we use today. They use these bricks for buildings, for homes, for their temples, for everything that they created. That is it, children. That is the mystery of the Indus River Valley unraveled. Now, I'll be signing out. I will see you next time on TNR.